very warm welcome. Let's talk about the Austrian incidents. Now, there was a lot of criticism came in for the stewards with giving a penalty to Perez. Perez. No, Norris, wasn't it? The first one was Norris. So Norris squeezed Perez, and the stewards gave a 5-second penalty, and then Perez did it twice on Leclerc. So they were consistent. So I feel like the stewards shouldn't have given the penalty in the first place, but then we called for stewards to be consistent, and they were, because when Perez did it twice, they gave the same penalty. Now, there was a lot of penalties dished out, and let's go through the incidents. Esteban Ocon retiring, that was a racing incident, just sandwiched. Yeah, we saw that in the previous week with Gasly when he had the puncture sandwiched. So yeah, that one was a racing incident. Norris and Perez. This is where they gave a penalty. Now, I'm a racer. I like to see wheel-to-wheel battling. It's a bit petty because I guarantee, like, you've got Norris and Perez going down into turn 4. Perez tries to go around the outside. Norris takes the race in line. Perez ends up losing a load of positions, goes through the gravel. Perez is angry. He pushed me off. But role reversal that. Say Perez did that to Norris. Norris would be saying exactly the same. So it's a bit pot kettle, innit? We want to see racing. We want to see hard racing. Of course, it's very aggressive, but it's not a move. It's not a move. Going round the outside at turn 4 is not a move. You're always going to be pushed wide. It's the same in Spa. After the Kemmel Straight, where Nico Rosberg and Hamilton touched. People that try to go round the outside into that corner, it's dumb. You're always going to be pushed wide. And it's the same on that corner. We've seen it in the past with Albon and Hamilton. So we get further on into the race. We have Yuki Tsunoda, who comes in the pit lane. In the pit entry, crossed the white line as he's coming into the pits. And he didn't do it once, he did it twice. Slam dunk penalty. I mean, that's embarrassing if you're racing in the go-kart. So for him to do that as an F1 driver is unbelievable. We had speeding in the pit lane, Lance Stroll. That's a slam dunk. Giovinazzi overtook under the safety car. Another slam dunk penalty. I mean, these are basic penalties. Yeah, but the main incidents were Norris, Perez. Now, I think that's hard racing. Of course, it's not great because Sergio Perez, he was P3. He went all the way down to like P10. So I get it from both sides. For me, that's hard racing. Should not be a penalty. We get on to the Perez-Leclerc incident. And it was a carbon copy. Perez pushed Leclerc into the gravel. Leclerc didn't really lose too much. And then he tried it in a different... Now this where I think it was a penalty. Perez, Leclerc tries to go around the outside. He was far enough alongside for me and Perez, but Perez did have to do a correction. But for me, that one deserved to be a penalty. That was too much. Of course, on the data, you can see Perez get, he's got to catch it, but yeah, that one was too much. But yeah, going down into that corner, turn 4, anyone trying to go around the outside, it is not going to work because the car's going to take the racing line. You're going to be pushed wide. We saw it, but we keep seeing penalties for it. Remember Hamilton and Albon. Hamilton got a penalty. We saw it. Norris, Perez. Norris got a penalty. And then Perez got 2 5-second penalties. So comment down below. I mean, I want to see hard racing. I feel like... But you take Norris Perez, for example. Perez saying he pushed me off, which he did. But put the boot on the other foot and that was Norris in the gravel. He'd be saying the same. And it's the same with Perez-Leclerc. Perez would be complaining as Leclerc was. And Leclerc actually went quite harsh and called Perez a dickhead. I can understand why Charles was angry on the second one. For me, the second one, Perez Leclerc, was a penalty. The Norris Perez incident, for me, that's racing incident. The first one, Charles Leclerc Perez, that's a racing incident. The second one, deservedly, Perez got a penalty. Yeah, just reflecting. Sunday evening, I was thinking, just sat down after I did driver ratings, I was thinking a lot of penalties and incidents. Yeah, but they're just my opinions on the incidents. I would rather see racing. Like, this is Formula One, it's the pinnacle, and we have a lot of drivers complaining all the time, which I don't really like to see. But they're all the same. I guarantee if it's on the other foot, they're saying they pushed me off. So they want the stewards to be lenient and let them race, but then when incidents happen, they're on the radio because it's about yourself. It's about your team. Perez, the first incident, he lost like a good 7 places. Leclerc didn't actually lose out both times, but you got to give credit to the stewards. People will say it was a joke and no penalty should have been given, but once they gave the first penalty to Norris, they were always going to give Perez 2 penalties because that's consistency. It would have looked even worse if they gave Norris a penalty, but they didn't give Perez one. Yeah. So yeah, comment down below. Would love to know your thoughts on the incidents. Do you say that's racing? Should have been no penalties? Yeah. I mean, I love Formula One. I want to see wheel-to-wheel action, but it won't be the last time we see it at Turn 4. Yeah. And the way it goes downhill, tricky braking zone, but going around the outside is suicide. Just, you're always going to be pushed wide, in my opinion, that corner. And it's just exactly the same at Belgium after the long straight, where drivers try to go around the outside. Like, you're always going to be pushed wide. But the stewards seem to give a penalty for it every time. Like, if you push someone off the track, it's 5-second penalty. So yeah, comment down below. Would love to know. Adios.